Sairam Shekhar Garu.
Sairam. कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानः शृण्वन् ऊतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रजवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् हर 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 ओम् नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय च अरुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमो अग्रे नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय च अरुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो तन्त्रे च गणीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्काराय नमः शम्भवे च मयोभवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमः कीर्त्याय च ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us all be together. Let us all be nourished together. Let us all work together with great vigor. May our studies shine and illumine our intellects. May we not hate each other. Let there be peace, peace, and peace. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hari Om, Sai Ram, Namaste. We are studying the 8th Anuvakam of Sri Rudra Prashna, the inquiry into the source of everything. This Anuvakam, as we have been looking at for the past 2 to 3 weeks, is now the center of the all universal awareness. And that universal awareness, if it were to be given a name in Sanskritam, it is called Veda. Universal awareness is Veda. So what is this center of this universal awareness from which everything is evolving, resolving, and dissolving into? That universal awareness is referred to in the Vedas, and that is 2 letters, Shiva. Nama Shivaya. And when you get to that point, we discussed about how 14 different aspects that are pervading from the 14 different stratospheres of awareness. And if Earth is the center point from which you're going, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Maharloka, Janoloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patalaloka. So now this 14 are going from Patala to Satyaloka. From Patala to Satya, there are 14 levels of this consciousness that is pervading. And what we are talking about, the earth is only representative, when I say only, is only 8.5 million species of living things. Now underneath that, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala Lokas, Apatala, Nabhastalanta, Bhuvanat, Brahmandama Vispuratu. Apatala, Nabhastalanta, Satyaloka. Bhuvanat, in between all these layers, and that Brahmandam Avispuratu, it's pervading all of that. Now that, when you peel the layers, Somaya cha, Rudraya cha, Tamraya cha, Arunaya cha, Shangaya cha, Pashupataya cha, Ugraya cha, Bhimaya cha, Agre Vadhaya cha, Dure Vadhaya cha, Hantre cha, Haniyase cha, Vrikshbhyo Harikeshebhyaha Taraya. That is the point at which you are even transcending those 14 and now entering into this space. It is you cannot try to all this pointers help us just to be aware of what we are really talking about. No, it is just simply that awareness. You are not trying to comprehend this and trying to put it together in your head, thinking, okay, what is that space? How do I get there? And the moment you try to intellectualize that, you lost it. You cannot. It is impractical, impossible. The entire human intelligentsia put together cannot comprehend it. The entire human intelligentsia, the entire intelligentsia of the cosmos put together cannot comprehend that. It is achintyam, aprameyam. Means what? Achintya, incomprehensible. Aprameya, immeasurable. So therefore, do not try to understand this. The point of this is this Jnana Yajna is not try to understand something. It is really truly about becoming aware of something, aware of that, becoming aware of that. And when you become aware of that, what happens? Becoming aware of that helps you transcend Taraya. So in that space now, Sham Bhavecha, Mayo Bhavecha, Shankarayacha, Mayaskarayacha, Sivayacha, Sivatarayacha. I don't know how many of you are paying attention to some of the pictures that Sister Margaret has been posting on the Facebook. She just made a beautiful depiction of all the aspects that we were talking about for the past few weeks on the Shri and the Shiva. And I don't know, I'm unable to speak today. After all that incredible Gayatri chanting of 24 hours. You can actually feel that there is an incredible presence or awareness that with this effulgence that is truly required to illumine so that we can clearly see, as Bhagavan says, clearly see. Tattva Darsinaha, that's what is Krishna said. Tattva Darsinaha, seeing it, not simply when you see something, you don't try to analyze it. When you see something, you just see something. You simply see something. When you listen to something, you simply listen to it. When you feel something, you simply feel it. Are you with me? There is no trying to decipher it, and that is all next step. If you have to do something about it, then you do all that. But if you are simply seeing it, then this thing that we're talking about, and yesterday, the last time we spoke about, I described 5 properties of that universal awareness or consciousness, that resplendent effulgence, the life sustaining force pervading the gross, subtle, and the causal. May that illumine my intellect, our intellects. Naha prachodayat. Naha prachodayat. So, this aspect of what we are calling as Chit or consciousness, also referred to as Siva or Siva. Siva is Sat, Siva is Chit, Siva is that. Siva is when that becomes aware of itself. Please see this with me. This is, I don't want to simply rush into just going in, because this is the center point in which we have to get grounded. And when you get grounded in this, and now this, even if every day you try to put a concerted effort to get into that space when you are chanting Rudram, Namah Shivaya cha Sivataraya cha. Shivaya cha Sivataraya cha. We'll talk about Namah Shivaya. And now that Shiva is that. Shiva is the awareness of that about itself. Because there is nothing else. There is no second. You understand? If there is only one, there is no second. Only one is present. And that one, what can it become aware of? Only that. It cannot be aware of anything else because there is only one. Yes. So when it became aware of itself, then it became Shiva. And that Shiva is Chit, Shiva is Sat. Then when it became aware of itself, that awareness has manifested as love. The outcome of the Sat becoming aware of itself as Chit, the outcome of that is love. And because of that love, the whole creation has occurred. And every single particle and being now is embedded with this Sat and Chit automatically in them. Therefore, Shiva is therefore that. Shiva is the awareness of itself. And then when it became aware of itself, then the whole creation got manifested. And now what happened? And every particle, every being is now spark of that, both in the context of both Sat and Chit. And then we have to remember now this process of understanding, okay, if that is what has happened, now this finitized infinity has no other choice but to ultimately become that again. Are you all with me now? Am I making sense? Please, anybody?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are you all present?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Now, here is where the beauty of it. Currently, you see, there is something about this whole thing called as that, and that, right now in study circle of Sat Sai Baba Sacramento Center, we are studying a quote from Swami, and what happens with this Swami is that when your mind is wrapped up in something, that responds spontaneously to everything that this awareness is now programmed into, so that he wants to make it more clear. He wants to make it more apparent so that the presence is increased. So this quote that we are studying, I'm trying to pull that quote so that I wanted to share that with you, because in this example, Bhagavan is, in a metaphor, Bhagavan is very beautifully explaining about this concept of that. I'm not able to find it immediately.
August 10th. And
Yeah, can you pull that up, Sairama? Can you pull the quote up? Okay. So while Kotu is pulling that up, I can explain this. Now, the metaphor is about an ocean. Bhagavan is using ocean as an analogy to describe this. Right now it is very cloudy and it is about to rain here. So when the rain happens, and when these drops are falling from these clouds, what is the source of the rain? What is the source of the rain?
The ocean.
Ocean, yes. So the ocean, when it is evaporated, becomes water vapor. That water vapor condenses, becomes a cloud, and that clouds further condense. They become the cumulus clouds. Then it rains, and when these raindrops fall, what is the final destination of these raindrops?
Back to
Ocean.
the ocean.
Ocean.
Okay, you got it? Now that what I was explaining, became aware of that, and then the whole thing happened, and this entire creation that has happened is like that ocean evaporating, forming this rain, these clouds, and then the water droplets falling. And when these water droplets are falling, Kotu, are you trying to share? Do I need to enable you share? Okay. That metaphor is what Bhagavan is using to explain this phenomenon of what is it to be having a journey. What is the journey of this water droplets from the cloud? The journey of this water droplet is to reach that ocean. And Bhagavan is now describing, remember this and do not tarry on your journey to God. You fill up the petrol tank with fuel for the journey that lies ahead, don't you? When you propose to keep the car in the garage for long, you do not fill the tank. Well, the body is also fed with fuel so that it may go on a journey, the journey to God. The journey is through karma, good karma, activity with renunciation of its fruits, nishkama karma. Such karma is termed related to the body, kayaka, the exertion of the body for the liberation of the soul imprisoned within. Not all the raindrops that fall from the sky manage to reach the sea. Only those that flow into a flowing river can attain the goal of all the drops, for they all come from the sea and yearn to reach the source. Now this is very beautiful. How many drops are falling now? And now it is truly those that come together and flow together. And now in that flow of that river, which is now flowing together. And while this river is flowing, it touches so many different fields, it waters them, it nourishes them, but yet it does not lose its goal and the aim, which is to now get back to that final journey. And now, in the context of this journey, this is very much relevant to the sadhana that we are talking about. People ask the question, why do I need to sign up, sir? Why do I need to go together and do service? Why do I need to? I am happy, I am doing my own thing. Yeah, you can be individually, if you're doing something, you are a drop falling from the cloud in a parched land, and then you immediately get absorbed and you won't reach the ocean. Only those that come together to stay together and pray together. Sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahe tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. This is such an important principle of each of these finitized particles have to come together and then create this exponential infliction of energy that gushes all of us now become that ocean. So do not underestimate the power of satsang. Do not underestimate the power of being together. If you are individually realized, you are a drop that has fallen. But every soul that has individually realized, the Jivan Muktas, the liberated ones, you name them, every one of them will want to now integrate and mobilize and inspire so that there is a momentum created, the energy of the mass is rising. Now you are wondering, what is this to do with the Namah Shivaya Sivataraya? Isn't it? Because the question comes, if there is only that and that is aware of that, where do we all come into relevance here? And that is what Swami's quote is about, that ocean. So this, what we call as consciousness or Shiva, it is not produced by our body and mind. Please now stay with me. 5 principles. The other day, I tried to rush through this. Now we spend a little more about this aspect of Shiva. Now, Shiva here, there is absolutely no reference to the iconized form of Shiva that we are talking about. No, they're crystal clear. When I'm talking about this Shiva here, it is not that white guy with matted hair with some trident and sitting on a mountain chilling out. That is not the Shiva I'm talking about. This has no name and no form. It's complete consciousness. It's not an object of experience. It is not produced by our body and mind. Yeah. So now, why am I giving that? Because a lot of people have this hallucinations, experiences, this and that. They all think that now they are creating. That is, those visions or whatever you call are simply projections of your own mind and intellect. This consciousness that I'm talking is not produced. It's not a product of your body and mind. Why it is not a product of your body and mind? Because it's already that which got finitized. It was present before your body and mind even came into existence. So it is not produced by your body and mind or your intelligence. It is it. And it is all pervading. In fact, it is pervading through all bodies and all minds. So therefore, it is not limited to your body and your mind. It is not a product of your body and your mind. It pervades all beings and all bodies and minds. And number 3, it is not limited to our body and mind. However, it can be experienced. It can be experienced in the functioning of the body and mind. It can be experienced in the function of the body and the mind. And finally, it exists without the body and the mind, and cannot be experienced as an object that a body and mind experience. Brothers, sisters, please see this with me. This is very, very important, because when we are now, a lot of people want to rationalize this and want to get it with their, that doesn't make sense, there is no logic, this and that. Yes, there is a logic that can explain this, but that logic will not be sufficient to completely explain it. So what is the logic? I will take through a logic using, for example, light. You look at this hand, okay? This hand is now shining in the light. But the light is not part of this hand, isn't it? Light is not part of this hand. But this light is pervading, means it is shining, it is pervading this hand. This light is not just limited to this hand, because this light that is falling on this hand is also falling on some other object. So it is not limited to this hand. How is this light? How do we know that there is light even? Because of the hand or because of the object on which it is reflecting back. Is the light existing when my hand is taken out? Yes, it is there. Namah Shivaya cha, Siva Taraya cha. Shivaya cha, Siva Taraya cha. And Sai Ram, somebody is going crazy typing up. Oh my God. Esperanza.
Sairam Shekhar Garu, this is Harita. Actually, Brother Kotu asked me to forward the quote.
Oh, what is
The quote from the study circle.
Oh, the quoting from, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I was
thank you,
trying
thank you.
to copy paste, but I think there's a limitation in the text. So
Okay.
I had to break it up.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Maharita. Sai Ram. Sai Ram. Yes. Since you forwarded it, can you please read it? Harita, go ahead and read it.
Sure, Andy, 1 second. What is the change in approach that is required for spiritual aspirant? Bhagwan enduringly appeals to us today to choose to sanctify our life. There is only one masculine, Purusha, in creation. All the rest are feminine, Stri. There is no fool too. That is only a role played by that particular manifestation of the embodiment of spiritual knowledge. That is the Supreme Self, Paramatma. Remember this and do not tarry on your journey to God. You fill up the petrol tank with fuel for a journey that lies ahead, don't you? If you were to keep that car in garage, do you go and fill the tank every day? Well, your body is also fed with fuel so that it may go on a journey, the inner journey to God. That journey is through good karma, pure activities offering its results to God, nishkama karma. Carefully discriminate and perform duties related to the body with the goal that the exertion of the body must be to liberate the soul imprisoned therein. Remember, not all raindrops that fall from the sky manage to reach the sea. Only those that flow into the flowing river attain the goal. For even though all drops come from the sea, only few earn to return to the source. Divine Discourse, September 15, 1963.
Thank you, Masairam. Right now, he decided to form clouds and about to rain in Sacramento. Can't wait for that. Been very hot here. So this principle of what we are talking as Sham Bhavecha, Mayo Bhavecha, Shankarayacha, Mayas Karayacha, Namas Sivayacha, Sivatarayacha. Now you see every bit of it. He summarized not just in this quote. This quote, what we're trying to say is, it's Bhagavan's grace that he simply chooses to bring to the attention of this, to this system, only to highlight, look, you're looking for some examples and logic on what is this 95-day sadhana is about, what is this journey to God is about. It is about once that awareness of Sham is born within you, Sham Bhavecha, that Sham Bhavecha is about the happiness and the security, everything related to your presence right now, experienced with the body and the mind, but it is not limited to that because it is Mayo Bhavecha. And now, if you are looking at that which is now beyond here and now in presence, which is above and beyond, which is here and now is Sham, above and beyond is Mayo. That what awareness when it is born within you, which is about what? That the infinite has finitized within me and it is now present within me, within this body and mind, but it is not limited to this body and mind. It is beyond that. It is in fact not created or produced by my body and mind, but it is all pervading. My body and mind are only instruments to know that this infinite divinity is finitized within me, but I should know that it is. These are not required. They are only just simply instruments, just like a light bulb that is enabling the current to know that there is light. But the light bulb and the current are not just defined only to each other, because the current can pervade everything and anything it touches. It can make a fan run, it can make a dishwasher run, it can make so many things run. And now, therefore, I am relating to that infinite presence which is finitized within me here and now. Sham bhavecha. Now I am experiencing it above and beyond. Mayo bhavecha. And in the context of this journey from the finite to the infinite, I have to come together and work with all the other raindrops that have now to form a river and flow to this ocean. Shankarayacha. But in doing that, we are actually not limited to where we are present. Mayaskaraya, the actions that are now taking me above and beyond. Shankaraya, actions here and now as service to humanity. Mayaskaraya, action, nishkama karma, which is related to taking me above and beyond. Then what happened? Nama Sivaya, I am in the ocean. Siva Taraya, because it is not just limited to this example of ocean, it is even beyond. It is just to understand that I am now present at the source. Sivaya namaya nama siva vasi manaya nama sivaya manaya vasi nama sivaya nama sivaya nama sivaya. Om. Atmano mokshardham jagadhitaya cha. This is the other beautiful saying of Swami Vivekananda for Ramakrishna Mission. Atmano mokshardham jagadhitaya cha. So the context of this reference to Namah Shivaya and that Shambhavecha, Mayo Bhavecha, Shankarayacha, Mayaskarayacha, Sivayacha, Sivatarayacha. Now we all understand what is this source, and how now these two letters Siva have become the source from which everything has evolved and resolved as Shambhavecha, Mayo Bhavecha, Shankarayacha, Mayaskarayacha. In this quote from Swami, he is basically talking about you, any self-aware soul, do not limit just to say that I am realized, therefore I am nothing to do, and I will now therefore, retire from. In spirituality, there is no retirement, because a lot of people think spirituality is after retirement, but spirituality is not retirement. Spirituality is about a constant, concerted action to expand this self. My life is my message. Expansion is my life. What is this expansion? This finite now becoming infinite. So if you're a spiritual being, you just don't sit inert. Spirituality is not inertness. Spirituality is about 100% awareness and action in awareness. Awareness and action in awareness. Simply talking about spirituality is a daydream. It's simply a daydream. Spirituality is not about constantly telling you, it's not constantly just speaking the words, I am God, I am God, I am no one but God, there is one supreme and one reality, I am Sachidananda Swarup, I am Om, Tat Sat. This is not repeating those words. Repetition of those words is just simply a reminder. However, spirituality is about now bringing that awareness into 100% into action. Shankarayacha. For action, for here and now in this relative world, to love and serve the society, but also Mayaskarayacha, knowing that this society in which you are loving and serving, this is not limited to that, it is above and beyond Mayaskarayacha. Then you are present in the ocean, Namasivayacha, which is forming all these clouds. Now, yesterday was when we were doing the study circle, then the question that beautifully came up was, why did then this infinite supreme, what we call as Sat Chit, decide to become many and put us all through this torture as the finite? Why can't it be just remain like that? Just remain as Sat Chit and not do anything, Just why, God, why did you choose to create all this? Why? Why did you put us to all this? Why did now when that question is asked, we were just talking about what happened if the ocean just remained as ocean and decided, I am not evaporating. Then there is no water vapor, there is no humidity, there is no cloud, there is no rain, there is no river, there is no life. I'll pause there.
There is no Ananda.
That is what is life. Another definition of life is Ananda, happiness, bliss.
There's no experience.
Ananda is not limited to experience. Just to be very clear, Ananda is not limited to experience. The experience of what we are calling as the body and the mind is infinitesimal in the definition of the word Ananda. Because this Ananda that we're talking about, the so-called the experience based on external objects, is truly not Ananda. There is no English word for Ananda, even bliss does not really completely describe the word Ananda. Ananda, yes, the experience of an external object that gives you that ephemeral temporal happiness of that external object is actually not about the external object. It is about your own inner aspect of Ananda that has very finitely manifested. Yes. So this is another important point of spiritual being is we are all thinking that this experience are so-called the experiences, so-called experiences that give us some kind of momentary happiness, even related with Bhagavan's miracles. They are not actually, they're not actually about your happiness of an experience or a miracle. It is about his vibhuti, not about your experience of a miracle. This is very important. The moment you look at a miracle of Bhagavan as saying that, oh, he did this to me because to give me some sign. Yeah. Even that feeling is very simply limited, very limited to his vibhuti. And when there is complete presence of yourself to that infinite self, and there is no other thought other than the thought of that self, even that thought not limited to the thought of the self, then that is Ananda. When that became aware of itself, then that manifested love. And that is Sivataraya. Is this too intense? Is this way too intense?
Yes.
Hmm. Yes. Any questions, comments before we close for today? Sai Ram, why is everything described as Shiva and not Vishnu? Some brother totally engrossed in Krishna consciousness. Why is everything okay? The fundamental trap is that thinking that this Shiva is an object like what we think as the Shiva, as what is described as the guy with a trident wearing some, elephant skin sitting on a tiger skin and is white in color, smeared with vibhuti, chilling on a mountain. And this Vishnu is a guy who is sleeping on a snake coil. Why is now he described as a Shiva? Why he is not described as Vishnu? If we really understood the meaning of the word Shiva and Vishnu, even that question would not even come in. Because what we are talking as Vishnu is not what we are looking at as the form of Vishnu that is sleeping on a snake coil with a rich woman in Shravana Masam pressing his feet. Vishnu means all pervading. This finitized, this infinite, when it decided and became aware of itself and now expanded into the creation and got finitized. Vishwam Vishnuhu Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhuta Krit Bhuta Bhrit Bhavo Bhutatma Bhuta Bhavanaha. So what is this Vishnu? The Vishnu is the expansion of that water vapor now that is becoming humidity, all pervading, then now got condensed into the cloud. And now all this process of expansion of the ocean to the cloud, that expansion, if that ocean is what you call as Shiva, and this expansion of that ocean as water vapor that is all pervading and then becoming that cloud, that expansion to become that cloud, Vishwam Vishnu Vashatkaro, that expansion is Vishnu. Rutagum Satyam Param Brahma, Purusham Krishna Pingala. Now, this, what we are in these Veda mantras, they are not describing these gods as we perceive them. They are describing that universal consciousness, that Sat and that Chit is what is called Prakriti. That Chit, that Prakriti is also called Shiva. That Prakriti is also called Vishnu, the expansion consciousness. My life is my message is Shiva. Expansion is my life is Vishnu. So Bhagavan is Shiva Shakti, Shiva Vishnu, no difference. Shivaya Vishnu Rupaya, Vishnu Shiva Rupaya Vishnave, Shivascha Hridayam Vishnu, Vishnuscha Hridayam Shivaha. I hope that answered your question, Subbu. We are getting there. Thanks. Who is that? Oh, the ocean is, look, the drops are flowing now. Thank you, Kumar. Welcome to United Airlines for the journey to the ocean. No more questions?
Sairam, I just have an inference. So I have also heard that all these discussions, everything, it's not essential. The presence of a person itself can change the consciousness, like
Huh?
how Baba did in his darshan. So the question is, Mahapurusha Samparka itself is enough. So the Sadguru's itself is enough. So what do you comment about that?
Yeah, this is a very, very beautiful question. Now you see, what Kusuma is asking is, hey, why do I need to go through all of this and even try to do all of this? If I see a Mahapurusha like Bhagavan or an avatar, that itself is enough, and I become realized. Why do I need to go through all this pain of Rudra Jnana Yajna and reading books, listening to discourses, and all of this stuff? Seems to be an onerous path. And a student asked Bhagavan exactly the same question. Swami, it is described in scriptures that if one comes across an avatar, then the realization happens instantaneously and there is no need to do anything else. Now that I have seen you here right now and I'm in front of you, is that guaranteed to me? Am I realized? I saw you, you are a Mahapurusha, you are here. I saw you, I'm realized. It is written in scriptures, I should be realized. And then Bhagavan answered this question very beautifully, and we'll close with this. Bhagavan said, look, Bangaru, when there is a thunderbolt that strikes a tree, the tree turns into black coal. If you take that black coal and now you wash it with soap, you wash it with milk, does it turn white? Kusma, yes or no?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. In order for the coal to turn white and never become coal again, what needs to happen to that?
It has to burn.
And then what happens to it?
Ashes?
And then will it ever become coal again?
No.
So Swami answered his question. If you come in contact with an avatar or a Mahapurusha Samparka, as you're calling it, beautiful Sanskritam words, if that fire of Jnana has started in you, you as a coal now turned into ashes and vibhuti, and you are instantaneously realized. How many of us have had darshan of Swami? Even he shows a lingam and say, whoever has seen this emergence of this lingam, you have no second birth. He said that. Now, by that means all the people sitting in Kulwant Hall became realized souls. No. What he is talking about, that linga, is what we are hearing, referring to in the context of this Shiva, the consciousness, the liyate, gamayate, iti linga, soma, rudra, has that jnana, has that wisdom and awareness spontaneously risen in you in that experience of seeing that Mahapurusha. Yes, totally you realize. That's what happened to a Bhagavan Ramana. Instantaneous experience of that Shiva Purana, totally realized. Yes. let us get realized.
Sai Rama.
Sai Rama. Question?
So the drop which falls in the river to reach the ocean, it needs to lost its form, right? I don't know.
Yeah, we are
So
going back to the same thing. Yes, once it
yeah,
falls into the river, it has no identity.
yeah, it has it doesn't have form, right? One shouldn't have form. It should become formless.
Yeah.
The current, whatever light you are talking, that current has no form.
Yes, Amma. What is the question?
How do we become formless?
Just fall into the river. Do service without identity. Do service without recognition. Sing a bhajan without identity. Be part of the total, not trying to figure out, I have to be this, I have to be that, I have to be recognized, I have to be that. That's how you become that. It's very simple. That's why it's called the selfless service. And he already gave the answer in that quote. Nish kama karma. Action without any expectation or a desire. That's how you become part of the river. The answer to your question is very clearly, Swami doesn't leave any scope of hallucination. He is very clear, extremely clear in his. He not only tells what the problem is and the solution and what to do about it in that quote. Very beautifully, yes? Yeah. Then we know the answer. But most of the time we ask the question, how do we do that? And I'm not picking on you. Generally speaking, that's what happens. Everybody knows the answers. The moment you ask a question, the question is coming in an awareness. And that without that awareness, the question doesn't even come. But then we have to turn the question on its top and take it inside. Then the answer is right there, present. And now that is how I look at it. Okay? Sairam. We are going to close. Yes, Sairam. Yes, go ahead.
Wanted to thank you for bringing up the 14 lokas as the 14 rooks. I also wanted to thank you particularly for the liyate, gamayate and the water cycle, beginning to see the correlation quite clearly, begin to feel it, not just see it and feel it. So every time I can see the lingam now and the lingam that Swami created in his hand, I will begin to immediately know that this is the whole process. The life cycle of water, of a raindrop getting back into the ocean. Thank you for that, Sairam.
Sairam. I am very privileged and blessed in the context of connecting to this incredible presence of Bhagavan through this Rudram, through all of you. And this 95-day sadhana, do not limit yourself thinking that I don't know Samputara Sri Suktam, I don't have it in Telugu, I don't know how to do Anganyasa, Karanyasa. I don't know whether I should do them or not. Do not subject yourself to all these things. This journey to God is what really this yajna is about. Yajna is not about just offering some sticks and wood and into a fire. This is truly the yajna. Every day we come together and we do it together and we are part of it. And this whole sign up thing that we are putting there is to be enrolling to be a Rutvik at this Homakunda of the Yajna. If you are not part of that journey, you are a water drop falling elsewhere. When you are part of a satsang, then the energy of the satsang, I'm frankly saying it is not about this speaker talking about this. It is this collective awareness of the 80 to 90 people that are putting their being into this Rudra Yajna. That is what is creating our expanded awareness. And that is truly what is happening. And therefore, what we are calling as this satsang or a center or something that you are being part of, you are part of the sum. You are not an individual. We are part of this universal awareness or experience. We are not individual awareness. We are not human beings. We are spiritual beings in a human body. And when we take this and this 95 days of truly bringing together, then we become a river. And this river is flowing through the banks, and those banks are the restrictions of having good food habits, the restrictions of sealing on desires, the restrictions of doing it at one time, the restriction of you call it as restriction, but actually speaking, being part of that flowing river with these banks, make this river useful to the whole society. Otherwise, that river water is just flowing undirectional. It is going everywhere, and it is not flowing to the ocean, and it is not flowing through the towns. And therefore, now you understand what is the importance of the satsang. And that satsang really, not able to join study circles of a Sai center because it is completely out of your realm of thinking. That is not being part of a satsang. Not being part of the service is not being part of the satsang. Not being part of this dikshas or yajnas or something that you're doing to channelize your energy is not being part of satsang. Now you understand it is not your individualized, ego that is telling, if I don't see it in a satsang, I'm not being part of it. Now we are channelizing it. This 95 days, the flow that we would create will heal the people. If you do it on your own, yes, you will be a drop falling on the earth, but not into the river. Let's fall into the river. Let us be part of something. There is no individual agenda of doing any of these yajnas ever. There is no money raised. There is nothing that is being asked of you other than your time to be part of a satsang. And then 1,000 questions. Can I do it anytime I want? Can I split Rudram in the morning and Purusha Suktam in the evening? All these things is now the drop that is falling on the ground and not falling into the river. So with that, a few things on the satsang about the 95-day sadhana. We are going to create zones. We are going to create a Pacific Standard Time Zone, Eastern Standard Time Zone, Central European Time Zone. We will create various time zones, and we will actually are requesting whoever has signed the 95. Yes, I am. Question, or you're explaining to somebody else, I guess. Okay. So when we create these time zones, the chanting will happen at a particular time, 6 to 7 in the morning, and 6 to 7 in the morning in each time zone. So we are looking for people that can actually enable the Zoom calls, and then we are creating a video that will actually have the chant along with the scrolling of the script, so that even if you did not know any Sampurta Sri Suktam, you are watching it on the screen, you are following it. We are all doing it as water droplets flowing into the ocean as a river. And there is a river that is flowing as Mississippi, a river as Bhagirathi, a river as a Rain River, whatever river it is, be part of that river. All these time zones are rivers that are now coming into the ocean of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Akashat patitantoyam yadha gacchati sagaraha sarva deva namaskaram keshavam pratigacchati. What is the meaning of this? Akashat patitam toyam, that water that is falling from the sky, yadha gacchati sagaram, so it reaches the ocean. All our thoughts and all our prayers will come together and flow to that Shiva, the supreme consciousness. And in the process, we will together benefit the society in love and service. But the goal is reaching the ocean. So I'm looking for people in different time zones, whether it is, I think we have people in various time zones already signed up. But there are a lot of people thinking, this is also another thing, some Rudram chanting how many times we have done Rudram, but this Rudram chanting of 95 days is, I'm urging everyone who is part of this satsang to surrender your individual egos and join the river to flow to the ocean, to heal and to love and serve in the awareness of this Rudra Jnana, in the awareness of this Sri Rudram. What you have done before may be different. And I know brothers and sisters are learning Devi Mahatmyam. And the Devi Mahatmyam that they are learning, the essence of the Devi Mahatmyam is 7 slokas. Jnaninamapi chetamsi Devi Bhagavati Hisa Balada Akrushya Mohaya Mahamaya Prechati Durge Smrta Harasi Bhiti Mashesha Jantoh Swachai Smrta Matimativa Shubhandadasi Daridra Dukka Bayaharini Katvadanya Sarvopakara Karanaya Sadardra Chitta Sarvamangala Mangalye Sive Sarvardha Sadake Saranye Trembake Devi Narayani Namostute Sharanagata Dinartha Paritrana Parayane Sarvasyarthi Hare Devi Narayani Namostute सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेसी सर्वशक्ति समन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहिनो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते रोगान शेषान पहंसि दुष्टा रुष्टातु कामान् सकलान भीष्टान् त्वामाश्रितानान्न विपन्नराणान् त्वामाश्रिताः क्याश्रयतां प्रयान्ति सर्वबाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी एवमेव त्वया कार्यमस्मद्वैरी विनाशनम्. 7 slokas, the essence of Devi Mahatmyam. Lot of people are learning Devi Mahatmyam. But there are many that are wondering, how can I learn Devi Mahatmyam? This Samputita Sri Suktam that we are chanting, Durge Smrta Harasi Bhiti Mashesha Jantok Swachai Smrta Matimativa Shubhan Dadasi Daridra Dukka Bayaharini Katvadanya Sarvopakara Karanaya Sadardra Chitta. When you are chanting that with the Sri Suktam, trust me, please know this. You are chanting the entire Devi Mahatmyam with that love and intensity. So we are still looking for some people that would coordinate and help various time zones. Now we are going to close this satsang. And for those of you who are interested in being part of coordinating, what we are really looking for people is to open the bridge at 6 o'clock in the morning in your time zone and be coordinated with other people. So at least the people in the same time zone are doing at one time, 6 to 7 in the morning, and they're doing it together as journey to God. If you are interested in that, stay back to help. Otherwise, we'll close with 9 Samastaloka and move into that satsang. Sorry, I'm 15 minutes over. Apologies. Samastaloka Sukino Bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam, those that want to help with coordination, please stay back. And those that have other businesses to do, thank you for joining today.
Saram, thank you for